Welcome to episode 3 of Meat Matters, where we get to the meat of the matter on everything beef. Devald, now we have a great lineup coming up today. Who are you looking forward to?
Yes, Mac, we do have. We've got one of South Africa's music greats joining us today and one of South Africa's top chefs. And I cannot wait to chat with Brenda Tlabane. She's a truly great farmer and an asset to our livestock industry in South Africa from so many perspectives.
Now, I'm also looking forward to Ryan's next insert. But before we begin, you probably do have a couple of questions. While I'm sitting here, I've got a couple of questions in terms of the South African beef industry. Devald, please tell us the structure of the red meat industry and how, our value chain is here to serve our customers.
So, Mark, what we have is we've got an industry forum called the Red Meat Industry Forum, which sits at the top of the red meat industry in South Africa. And this forum is represented by 13 role players. Now, it's not a closed group. You can join at any stage with an application to the forum. But the main drivers of this specific forum are the members who pay statutory levies. And these levies obviously comes from the farmers, the feedlots, the abattoirs, the importers. So, for example, each and every container that is imported from anywhere in the world that contains red meat products in it has to pay a levy. For every calf or every cow that is sold, every head of cattle sold, there's a fee, a levy payable to that. And at the end of the day, that comes into a pool and is redistributed within the RMIF with service delivery back to the RMIF and the community and the red meat value chain.
The thing is, it's always great to know how the industry serves us. But why do we even have feedlots?
I think the big thing with regards to feedlots in our country is South Africa is an inherently dry country. So if all the animals, all the cattle that we have walked on the veld, they call it free range nowadays, cattle, the cost of meat in South Africa would be very, very expensive. Because of the simple reason, it will take so much longer to feed these animals to a specific weight where they can be slaughtered. So it means that the supply of meat in South Africa will be a lot less, and at the end of the day, you'll be paying a lot more towards meat in South Africa.
Thank you for making us understand this more better. Now, our red meat industry is so diverse, and I believe there are job opportunities for people to get involved throughout the industry. What are these opportunities and how can people find employment?
So recently, I was part of a whole Career Connect drive or initiative where we spoke to and we addressed young agricultural students. We spoke specifically with regards to all the opportunities that you can get in the agricultural sector. That's from agricultural finance, logistics, work specifically in feedlots, in abattoirs, on the farms. And there's so much more to agriculture than what we also or mostly just think with regards to raising or rearing cattle or sheep or goats or anything of that matter. There's a whole value chain, and this whole value chain needs input from our younger generation. Now, what is very important with regards to this, and I always say that the young generation is not only the leaders of tomorrow, that's very a typical saying, but at the end of the day, we need new answers to current problems. And the people currently in the situation cannot always come up with new answers, a new way of thinking. I mean, if we just think about social media and the impact that social media has on industries, that can have a brilliant impact on the agricultural industry, and we need to harness that from our younger generations coming through. It's important that anyone that is interested in a career in agriculture, they can visit the ultimate career platform for agricultural and agri-food industries, and that is at www.agrijob.co.za. agrijob.co.za.
There you've got it, ladies and gentlemen. That's agrijob.co.za. Visit them today and take advantage of the great opportunities provided for people to find sustainable employment. One more time, agrijob.co.za. to welcome one of South Africa's greatest chefs. He's been president of the South African Chefs Association and part of the South African Olympic Chefs team. And today, he's director of the HTH School of Culinary Arts. It's the man himself, Stephen Billingham. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, and thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Stephen, I believe that you're involved in the South African Culinary Olympic team. Please tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, my involvement in the Olympic team obviously comes as the responsibility of being the president of the South African Chefs Association for the past 10 years. Stepped down 2 years ago, mind you. But as the president, we have to keep an eye on our national culinary Olympic team, which consists of about 18 team members. We've been representing South African cooks, chefs, and caterers, and quite frankly, everybody in the food industry in South Africa since 1974 was the first time we sent a team to compete in the Olympics. This year being 2020, there was the Olympics in February, where we sent a very, very young team of dedicated, committed chefs to represent us all in Stuttgart in Germany, where we competed extremely well. And remember, it's very, very tough for South Africa. It's a long-haul destination. We've got a long way to go. And this year, 2020, not a bad result, because as a young team, we came back with 3 bronze medals. Which is not too bad, seeing that we only had a 3-year practice period. And of course, we've got lots of constraints that the European countries don't have. Obviously, sponsorship and things like travel to get to the Olympics, accommodation, flights, cargo, etc.
Now, since you've mentioned, the prize behind the whole performance, what would you say were some of the challenges? Did we have any dishes that challenged the South African teams?
One of the challenges is obviously as a South African team, you want to go over there and represent the best that you've got from your own country, from your own land and sea. And obviously in South Africa, we're absolutely plentiful with quality fresh produce. One of the challenges is, of course, you've got a judging panel made up of about 20 chefs from across the world. So when you design your menu to put forward to compete, yes, you want to showcase South African produce and South African flavors, but you can't go too deep into that because it's foreign to those people. And you don't have the opportunity to explain to the judges exactly what rooibos is, exactly what a butternut is, exactly what blesbok is. So you've got to use what we would say international type food with a little bit of a South African twist. So, we wouldn't be using an orange, we'd be using a naartjie. We wouldn't be using a pumpkin, we'd be using a butternut, etc., etc. So one of the challenges is to get quality food across that they understand, and you don't have to spend too much time explaining what it is. You just need to get it done. So it's a nice fusion between what I would say global European type food with a South African twist.
Obviously, you just told us that, coming back with bronze medals is good. It's on an international level.
It's good. It's a young team. The same team now is now practicing monthly towards Olympics 2024.
Okay. These chefs, you said that they're all young, or most of them, it's a very young team. Are they the next real thing in South Africa? And where can we find these guys?
The members of the National Culinary Olympic team are not necessarily the best chefs in the country, but obviously it's a voluntary system. So they're the most committed, the most dedicated chefs. And of course, out of that comes absolutely rising stars. So to find these people, it's a nationwide hunt. It's a nationwide, right, guys, where are you? Remembering SA Chefs have got over 10,000 members. So we put a plea out to the members. Come and produce your dish of distinction. Come and produce what you are on a plate. We would screen these people nationwide. So we'd have sessions in Joburg, Durban, Bloemfontein, Cape Town, etc., etc. And that's where we'd find the talent. Then over and above that talent, are you able to commit 4 years of practice in your own time towards training up for the Olympics, which is the pinnacle for every chef? Every chef wants to represent their country. And just like football or rugby or cricket, this culinary team has got the endorsement of the Bureau of Heraldry. So they are official Springboks, they are official Olympians, and they can wear the colours of green and gold. So that's a highlight. South African chefs are well respected globally, basically for their work ethic, for the fact that they can really, really work over and above and run rings around a lot of other chefs based on commitment, dedication, and hard work.
Now, in case you missed it a bit earlier on, Stephen Billingham is involved with HTA School of Culinary Arts. What is your involvement?
Well, I started the school about 1995. Due to the current need and the predicted need for skills and jobs in our industry. Remembering 1995, I think the tourism intake to South Africa was just under 3.5 million. Today it stands over just over 15 million. So with that came a huge influx of hotels, new hotel groups, international hotel groups, new restaurants, thousands and millions of tourists. So we've always been extremely short-skilled in our sector. And HTA was formed to address the current predicted skills need or shortage in hospitality travel tourism.
Now, thank you. I mean, Stephen, if you're just looking at what currently is happening with COVID and so on, we'd like to wish you all the best. And hopefully tourism is picking up very, very quickly in South Africa. Thank you for joining us on Meat Matters, and all the best with your culinary school.
Thank you, and thank you for what Meat Matters does to promote our industry. Needs it.
One question, what does HTA stands for?
HTA stands for Hospitality Trainers and Assessors.
Okay, I can't remember that. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Dewald, I have a very serious question. COVID-19 has basically affected all of us. How has it impacted your business?
Mac, as much as I'd like to speak to you on this, I think the best would be if we call on somebody who's actually got a business in our industry, and that's Brenda Tlabane. Let's rather speak to her and ask her what has happened in COVID. She's a very influential role player in our industry.
Joining us in studio, please welcome Ms. Brenda Tlabane, founder of Temo ya Tlabane Farming. Welcome, Brenda.
Hi, Mick. Thanks.
Very well.
I'm great, thanks, and how are you?
All good, no complaints.
Good, thank you. Hi, Dewald.
Brenda, lovely to see you, and you look lovely as always.
Likewise, thanks.
Thank you.
Great to see you too.
Brenda, we've got 3 very important questions to ask you, but I think before we start, please tell us about yourself, tell us about your business, where do you come from, where do you farm, what do you do?
Oh, I refer myself as a farmer who embraces and loves technology. And my background started in the ICT sector, then moved over to the farming industry about 10 years ago. And I think that's where I found my passion. I'm currently doing mixed farming. I do have livestock in terms of cattle. I have goats, I have piggery. Small divisions though, in terms of the goats and the piggery. And also a bit of game. And also on the crop side, I do grains. I do oilseeds, and also just started now with the fresh produce division.
So Brenda, obviously COVID-19 has had huge repercussions for all of us. Please tell us, how has it affected your business, and what did you do? What do we need to do about it?
For us, remember, the majority of my farming enterprise is in Limpopo. So with us, it did not really start with the COVID phenomenon. I mean, it started about a few months ago with the outbreak of foot and mouth disease in Limpopo. So we were sort of on the lockdown long before the rest of the country joined us. So we had a bit of months where we could not really trade. Most of the farmers could not plant, because what would happen during planting season, one would have to sell off some few animals and then maybe pump that money into, maybe if you do mixed farming like myself, take some money and put in onto the crop side. So that did not happen. And with also government not coming through in terms of assistance of small-scale farmers when it comes to the production input, that allocation was not done last year. So it had a huge impact. It was sort of a double impact for most farmers, where we could not really produce to our optimal capacity and also be productive as we were like in the previous years.
Brenda, please give us some examples of how this, will help shape the future of your business.
Most people before COVID looked at technology as a nice thing to have. And it's one of the things which I always argued. Technology is more of an enabler, and not only an enabler, an equalizer as well. I mean, when you look at the small-scale farmers versus the commercial farmers are more productive because of the high mechanization, which is high introduction of high-tech machines into their businesses. While you look on the small-scale farmers, those are sort of unaffordable to them. So one questions how far one can go. It's a question of affordability. Number two, it improves your productivity level from the farm level. So it's needed now with the COVID issue. It has sort of bridged how we trade in terms of farmers' market access. We find that now that we are able now to trade without borders, if one can call it that. We are able to communicate efficiently and better with people in other countries. Like we have another committee of young farmers in the SADC region. I mean, we are always in contact in terms of what are the trends in their own country. We share experiences. And for us, it has always been normal. Not only that, for me, also on the global platform, I'm part of the World Farmers Organization, Youth Committee or Youth Advisors, which is a gymnasium alumni. So we always talk about what are the trends and also what can we improve or introduce into our farming enterprises to be more efficient. Technology is exciting for young people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why young people, we always attract them into the sector because of it. Farming traditionally, in their mind, it's seen as hard labor, uninteresting, and such a boring industry. So when you introduce in technology, everyone start to get excited. They start to now look into farming as a possible career path that one can go into. And also they don't see it as that hard labor as well as it becomes fancy. We have agricularized it, like we call it
cool.
agriculture.
Yeah,
so it's cooler now than it was back.
So you can fit in there as well. It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Brenda, maybe on that, what is your vision as a South African farmer, and what does the future hold for yourself, for your business? I mean, Temoya Tlabane farming, where do you see this going?
For me, my passion has mostly been around youth and women development. That has always been my primary interest. So when I founded Temoya Tlabane, fine, I'm a business person. It was based on that, on the business component. But as you go along, you start talking to the deeper person within you as a person to say, do I thrive on my own while communities around me are starving? Then they start to incite those difficult questions to say, what else can I do in terms of making life easier? I mean, as a young Black farmer, I started in this industry. I was still just under 30 when I started. And all the barriers to enter into the sector, I mean, those are things that I know I have overcome. And it's now, how do I make a difference in other people's lives? And I did not have a lot of opportunities. And what I only had was a group of special people who helped me through the journey, where they were sharing their experiences, their knowledge. And that's exactly what I want to impart. And in the Limpopo, I'm running some graduate program where, for me, ideally, I would want to get to a point where I get some of these big companies maybe demonstrating their high-tech machines, and so that one can get exposure. Like, for me, having traveled so much, being exposed to so much technology, new ways of farming, I understand now, I have a full comprehension of what technology can do in terms of one's farming enterprise.
Okay.
Ms. Brenda Tlabane, thank you so much for making time. You are an inspiration and asset to the industry.
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda, for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Now, we are very honored to welcome one of South Africa's true music legends, the man himself, Ringo Madlingozi. Did I say it right? I was just putting some emphasis on Madlingozi.
For sure, man. Meg and Devald, man, it's a real pleasure to join you on Meet Matters.
Ringo, it's nice to have you. Now, please tell us, as a singer, songwriter, producer, member of parliament, sex symbol, you must be a very successful man. I mean, how do you do it? And please tell us what's new and what can we expect from you coming up?
Well, I've been having, and I've released the 4 singles, so far this year, and I'm working with a very, great team of people. And I don't want to say names right now, but we're working on great things. We are changing the landscape of the music industry. And, I'm talking about we'll be having Ringo this and Ringo that. And, TV, documentaries. And look, there's a lot that we'll be doing, man. So watch the space.
So now, Devald, here's the thing. Okay, here comes a quick challenge. And check these moves and study them. You are also known for the man with the most busiest feet on the stage.
Oh, yes.
Can you please show us a couple of moves and then, we want to learn so that we can show everyone else how to do it.
Do you think
for
you
your
can?
Next concert?
Okay, simple.
All right.
You just.
Okay. All right. Let's quickly try this. All right. It's an educational phase that you now need to study for this. I think am I doing it right or what's happening here?
I can do it. 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 I got it.
That's the vibe, yeah.
I think Dio does it better than me. I struggle with rhythm. It's my thing.
Black men can dance, man.
Hey, not all of us. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the shoes.
The shoes,
know.
okay.
Maybe it's the shoes. Now, also, it takes a high energy to become a legendary performer like Ringo. And obviously, you need great nutrition to keep you going. So how important is red meat specifically for your diet before going on stage or prepping in advance to, perform on the stage?
Well, I gotta have meat, man. I've got to have that calcium. I've got to have that, the
protein.
The protein and testosterone. To be able to jump and do all that. Remember, I love Portugal. You know what to do? You just put some meat first and let it go, smell good. I never taste my food. I just, smell it and then later on I put some veg and all that, and that's what I love doing.
So he's more of a red meat veggie.
Oh, yes.
Guy. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
True.
And when I eat that, then I'm ready.
Ready to go.
Oh, 2-3 hours non-stop, man.
Do you pack up on red meat before you go on a show, or is it a normal lifestyle?
No, I'll sleep. No, at least not before. At least an hour or 2.
Yeah.
By the time I'm ready to get on stage, man, I'm there.
Wonderful.
Now, Ringo did mention a bit earlier on that he's got a brand new album out. Just to wrap it up before we let you go, where can we find the album?
The album will be released sometime the end of November 2020. And I have a few singles that are out. And there's one that is making waves, in all radio stations. I think that it will all hit all of them one time. And the song is Hello, Standard Sam. Simply translated, Hello, Baby. Hello, Standard Sam.
Maybe I shouldn't whistle.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe. Yeah, and you can only get it on. For now, it's www.madlingozi.co.za. I repeat, www.madlingozi.co.za. But very soon you will have a lot more, places that you can get it because. As I told you, I'm working with very incredible people that are going to make the whole picture wide, make the circle bigger.
It's wonderful having you, Ringo. I love it. It's brilliant. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Right, I'm pleased to introduce our next weekly segment, Ryan on Beef. He's crazy about food and insists on extracting every gram of happiness and flavor from beef, from last time in the bush to all the way to the Mediterranean. He now says he's going to save the Greek economy. What the hell is this guy talking about? Check this video out.
It's great to be back. And yes, even during lockdown, I have been traveling. In fact, my couch and I have traveled the world. Thank you very much to Air Google. In the process, I found myself in the beautiful azure blue oceans that surround the Greek islands. But I just couldn't help but be bombarded by these incredible articles about the Greek economy. And it then dawned upon me that, in fact, for one of their great food products called kofta, we have a great solution for them right here in South Africa. And here it is. Amazing South African boerewors. The most delicious product only available here and made from South African beef. I love boerewors, I really do. And there's so many things we can do with it. So in fact, what we're going to do right now is make a boerewors kofta. Just like this. So, take a beautiful piece of boerewors, get a pair of scissors, and what we're going to do is do a little bit of surgery. But by the way, I recommend using proper kitchen scissors. Scissors that came out of your daughter's stationery box earlier this morning. Sorry, my love, it might not be there when you need them at school. And now, just get into it. It's simple as remove all this delicious flavor and the mince that comes out of your. It's as simple as just squeeze it out, just like that. It's all about getting involved with your food. And we take a stick, you put the beautiful wors meat in your hand, and we create a beautiful kofta, just like that. Beautiful kofta goes into my magical cooking device, and we leave it there just so that it's ready for us when we need it. Everything kofta goes with an amazing dish that the Greeks have created. It's called tzatziki, and it's really, really easy to make. What we do is we get a bowl of amazing plain yogurt, just like that. We're going to be adding cucumber, lemon, and pungent, delicious, stinky garlic. So, when you prepare everything, all you need is one of these magical devices over here. Get your cucumber and simply go for it. No special techniques, just like that. Once you're finished with your cucumber, literally get as much as you need. I need some more, as you can see. Just like that. Take your cucumber and place it in the actual yogurt. We need to have some pungent and delicious garlic. Now, many people would have told you to do many things with garlic, like chop it, slice it, or anything else. But a microplane, and this is your top tip for the day, is the easiest, fastest way to get your garlic exactly how you need it. It's as simple as that. Take it off the back, and a delicious clove of garlic goes straight in like so. Now, as I remove this plate to my amazing dishwasher, let's finish up this tzatziki. Salt, pepper, and on that point, by the way, boerewors never ever needs salt and pepper. It's perfect as it is. It's the only food that doesn't need seasoning. Great South African invention. And now we take for the tzatziki some fresh lemon, beautiful squeeze just like that, and simply mix it all together. Trust me, it's absolutely delicious. And now it's time to check my magical cooking device. Oh, ho, 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 ho. There it is, the most delicious boerewors kofta. This is the way to do meat on a stick. I mean, just look at that. It's absolutely delicious. Now, as a tzatziki pours all over my hands, it makes me think that yes, Archimedes was a clever man. So was Pythagoras. He had some theories. Even Aesop, well, he turned around and he wrote some fables. Seems to me, though, that none of them had an actual plan. Not like us South Africans, with our boerewors kofta, as they say, a boer maak 'n plan. Join me again next time on Ryan on Beef, where I'm going to introduce you to a delicious cocktail made from beef. Yes, you heard me right. It's called a bull shot, and it's the bullseye for everyone who loves a cocktail.
Welcome back to Meat Matters, Ryan.
Gee, what a pleasure to be here, Mac. And hello, Dierveld.
Hi, Ryan. Ryan, it's bright time. It's summer, it's bright time, it's nice. What are you most excited about?
I think the word in Afrikaans is braai oopsies.
Braai oopsies.
Is that anywhere close?
Huh? Yeah, oopsie.
So the idea behind it is, nobody can braai better than us South Africans. That's a fact. We know braai. We don't know barbecue. And you talk about fun food around the braai? Well, I'll tell you what, we can take even more inspiration for those things that we have when we are eating the braai. What are those things on the side? Mac, what do you love to eat on the side while your braai is busy cooking?
I think Dewald will be, you'll agree, aardappelslaai.
Aardappelslaai.
Yes.
It's a lekker side.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, you've got to make something. You've got to try something. This, in all my international travels, comes in as the new braai oopsie. I kid you not. You can get a braai fondue. I think I'll call it a braai-do.
A braai fondue.
Yeah, as a lekker snack to have while the guys are waiting. So it's as simple as this. You ready? Get one of my size coffee cups. It's more like a pot planter about this big. 1 cup of cream, 1 cup of your favorite cheese, and then 1 cup full to the top with your favorite biltong powder. Mix it all together, heat it up, and put it right in the middle of the table. Surround it with all those nice things that we love to eat with it. Bread, cheese, dip some fruit in it. If you're completely mad, but trust me on it, get some strawberries and dunk those strawberries inside there as well. Your guests will be blown away.
Where can we find this recipe, Ryan?
I tell you what, you might have to have a look at the Meat Matters website.
All right. So now I need to go check it out because I've got a braai coming up very soon with a couple of friends, and I might as well just try this.
You've got to try it.
If it's a flop, Dewald, you know what we do.
I know where to find him.
That's it. Ryan, thanks for coming through and thanks for making time.
What an absolute pleasure. Thank you,
Ryan.
Ryan. Thank you, Mac.
Yes, Ryan. Nice having you.
www.meatmatters.co.za. A big thank you to all the guests that join us today in studio. My name is Mac Rapapali, and on behalf of Dewald Olivier,
Thank you, Mac.
thank you, sir, and the Red Meat Industry Forum, thank you for joining us on Meat Matters. See you on the next episode for more on the best of beef. Be healthy, be safe, and keep enjoying South African beef.